So hello everyone. Thank you for joining us for this webinar on how to develop a maintenance-free long life kingpin and suspension tribological system for commercial vehicles powered by GGB. Our speaker for today is Mr. Suraj Patil, Applications and New Projects Engineer, GGB India. A brief about Suraj. Suraj has been working as an application engineer and tribological solution expert for the past 6 years with GGB. He graduated from the University of Pune in 2014, where he got his bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering and developed a passion towards automobiles. In today's webinar, Suraj will help you find the right solution for your kingpin and suspension applications. He will address a number of interesting questions, such as, do your kingpin bearings work for 5 lakh kilometers and above? Do you want to eliminate downtime for frequent re-greasing and replacements? Do your tires wear faster and unevenly due to higher play in kingpin and suspension? Following the webinar, you will have a better understanding of the greaseless long-life tribological solutions from GGB and understand the benefits and features of GGB products. During the presentation, please do keep an eye on the chat window as we will be sharing a total of 6 files containing information on GGB and their products. The presentation by Suraj will run for around 30 minutes, post which the GGB team will spend 5 to 10 minutes answering your questions related to today's topic. You will find a Q&A window at the bottom of your screen where you can share your questions. In case your question is not answered by the end of the session, the GGB team will get in touch with you for one-to-one discussions in the coming days, and you could also reach out to them after the session. As always, a copy of the presentation will be made available for download after the session. You will be receiving an email regarding the same in a day or two, along with contact details of the GGB team. And as usual, this webinar is also being live streamed on Motor India's video channel on YouTube. That's it from my side. Now over to Suraj for the presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Bala. Good afternoon, everyone. I hope you can hear me well. So let's begin. So in today's webinar, our agenda will be as follows. We will have a brief about GGB company profile, a 3-minute video for short introduction, then few products and applications portfolio of GGB, industry trends and challenges specifically to the selected application of kingpin and suspensions, GGB solutions for the same, the science or the mechanism behind the solutions that we provide, then our new introduction in the product, which is polymer coatings, and lastly, the benefits of these products.
GGB Bearing Technology is the global leader in high-performance bearing solutions. GGB means excellence in manufacturing, reliability in performance, and innovative bearing solutions and ideas. Ideas that solve our customers' most challenging problems. GGB is a team of over 1,100 dedicated, results-oriented employees. You'll find them in factories, labs, offices, and research facilities around the world, all driven by the same shared values: safety, excellence, and respect. We collaborate with 30,000 customers in virtually every nation of the world across a wide range of industries. Our solutions are found in automotive, aerospace, agriculture, construction, renewable energy, industrial, foundries, high-performance recreational equipment, and fluid power applications. GGB high-performance solutions are even helping NASA explore the surface of Mars. GGB's success is built upon decades of innovation in low-friction, self-lubricating, and pre-lubricated plain bearing technology. Our manufacturing processes make it possible to create solutions that maintain the tightest tolerances and production volumes our world-class customers expect. From customized bearing solutions for critical applications to thousands of standardized bearings per day, all to provide our world-class customers the highest levels of manufacturing excellence and customer service responsiveness. GGB achieves all of this while upholding the world's highest standards for quality, safety, and environmental stewardship. The result is a diverse portfolio of precision engineered bearing solutions. GGB innovative solutions make things lighter, quieter, more compact, and more resistant to the forces of friction. We add durability and reliability, improve mechanical efficiency, and lower long-term maintenance. GGB bearings minimize the threat of corrosion and alleviate the need for constant lubrication. These are the things we are achieving. These are the things our customers have come to expect. GGB will continue its commitment to innovation and to the values that define who we are. We will continue to advance the science of tribology with bearings that set new standards for low friction, lightweight, low maintenance, high performance, and environmental responsibility. Our dedication to success is reflected in our passion for people and a continued focus on our customers and their success. That's the spirit that defines GGB, the leaders in high performance bearing technology.
That was a bit about GGB and the products that we make. GGB comes under the Enpro Industries. Enpro is a leading industrial technology company using the material science to push the boundaries in the semiconductor, life science, and other technologies enabled sectors. So Enpro is leaders in the sealing technologies, advanced surface technologies, and highly engineered materials. These are some of our sister concerns. Let's go into the products. So this is GGB's product portfolio. So we have plain bearings from metal polymer, from engineering plastics, metals, biometals, fiber reinforced composites, assemblies, and we have a new products also, which is a tribological coatings. This is some of our application portfolios in commercial vehicles. So we have solutions in the system, seating systems, fuel injections, shock absorbers, struts, then transmissions, axles. But today we are going to focus only on two applications, which are kingpin and suspension systems. So regarding to these two applications, in the industry, where our industry is leading forward nowadays, with the use of unitized wheel end bearings with the lifetime, which is more than 500K kilometers, or in some cases 1 million, without maintenance, it is a need to have solutions which are competent, similar for the same application with different locations. Now, as we need the vehicles which are running non-stop, because let's see, our e-commerce industries are very good right now and growing. So you have delivery times is a crucial aspect of it, and you don't want to stop your vehicles very frequently for any kind of maintenance or services. Another thing is, as industry is moving forward with better results, your increasing service warranties are up to 5 years now. And also, you require solutions which are completely maintenance free so that your vehicles will run without a downtimes. Now, these trends usually seems very easy, but it's hard to achieve. Why is it so? Because we have very big challenges and the issues to achieve these trends or the expectations from it. Well, the first thing that we have in these two applications of kingpin and suspensions, most of the manufacturers or the vehicle manufacturers uses metals bimetal bearings. So these metal bimetal bearings have a life of around 120k kilometers, and you need to replace them after that or before that. You need to do the frequent regreasing, maybe with the manual regreasing or with the centralized lubrication systems if these are the high-end vehicles. So it takes time and cost. Because of this wears in the metal and bimetal bearings, you have other issues as well, such as uneven tire wear, wobbling, the pin damages, and you need to replace all of them. And because of the greasing and replacements, you have a maintenance downtime all the time. So these are the problems that we have currently, because of which we cannot achieve the target that we are hoping for. So let's see some solutions from GGB. The first application is kingpin. Now we know kingpin is always a grease lubricated application. It has a high shock loads, and contamination due to the dirt and dust is very high in this. Now, to achieve a better life in the kingpin applications, for the bearings, we require low wear rates, tighter tolerances, so that our other systems will not get affected, and very low maintenance. Now, from GGB side, we have few products that can be used here for providing a better life. So DX is one of our metal polymer product which can be used here. It is a proven product and has passed more than 1 million kilometers in the US roads. DX10 is the next version of the similar category, which we have tested on the Indian roads and can perform more than 500k kilometers for sure. And we have a new product which is grease-free coatings, which can also be used here to eliminate grease completely from the system, which we can make it as a grease-free. So you do not need to grease the system at all, or you do not need to do any kind of a maintenance in the system. This is for the kingpin applications. Now let's move to the next one, which is the suspension. Now, suspension leaf eye end or bell crank. The operating conditions would be similar. It is also grease lubricated, and contamination due to the dust and dirt is very, very high. So the requirements in this applications is to have a better lower wear rate. Abrasion resistance is required. Low maintenance or maintenance-free solutions are really required here, as the life of the bearings that is being used here nowadays are not more than 1 lakh kilometers. Now, from GGB side, we can use two products here, which one is the DX10 solutions, which can perform very well. And we have a new product, which is a SBC, sealed bearing cartridge. I will explain it a little bit more in the next slide about it, which can be used here, which can be either lubricated or grease-free completely. The third application that we would like to talk about is equalizer mechanism. Now, it is also grease lubricated or sometimes used in solutions here is a silent blocks, which are rubber products. Now, contamination due to dust is very, very high as suspension and kingpins. So in this equalizer mechanism also, this application, you to achieve a better life, you need to have low wear rates, low maintenance and maintenance-free solutions, which will increase your service life. So in this application from GGB side, we can use completely lubrication-free products such as iStem Gamax, DX10 or SBC. Now, what SPC is exactly is it's a sealed bearing cartridge. So you have a outer shell, which is the zinc plated steel or any other steel material. Then we have bearings which are high strength garments. Then internal lip seals are provided for the protection from the dust and dirt which can come into the system. So it is assembly which we can use it directly at this location, and the system can be made completely grease free. Now, when I say that we can improve the life of these applications with the GGB solutions, now how I can say and what is the science behind it basically. When you have or using a metal or bimetal bearings in these applications, along with the metal shaft which are in the counter surface, you have a metal to metal contacts between them. Now, when the two surfaces are in a contact with each other and working against, have a relative motion in between them, you will have adhesion, you will have a plastic deformation, plugging, and other dust and environmental particles will also be there, which will damage everything. So, because of this, in the metal and bimetal bearings, you will have a higher friction and higher wear rates also, which will not allow you to provide a better life or achieve a better life in these applications. Now, in GGB solutions, in the metal polymer or in a high-strength garments, which are our fiber-reinforced composite bearings, we eliminate the metal to metal contact and we replace these contacts with the polymer to metal. Now, the construction of a metal polymer bearings is mentioned here. We have, this is a 3-layered product. We have a backing as steel, then we have a sintered bronze as a binding, then we have a tape overlay. This can be anything which would be made of any polymer material, which are majorly high-tech polymer materials. So it establishes a contact between a metal surface to a polymer surface and eliminates your frictions. So this allows us to reduce down the friction via allowing us to achieve a better life. And we can provide a different patterns over it so that it can hold grease or you can have a better life without the maintenance. Now, the next product is polymer coatings, which are from GGB. Tribological polymer coatings, what it is exactly? It's normal coatings. We have a different type of a polymer coatings which can be applied over shaft or over any mating components which are in a contact or two surfaces which are in a relative motion with each other, and we can eliminate any kind of a lubrication from the system, and it will perform well in the system. So we can make a simplified design with fewer moving parts. As these are the polymer coatings, it can provide you a very good chemical and corrosion protections. It eliminates lubrication from the system completely. And as we have some standard TriboShield coatings with us, we can make some new products also with the customizable formulas from it. If we want to have something better for the application, we can achieve that as well. It gives us a design freedom from the shape and surfaces as well. So we can coat any kind of a surfaces, as you can see the threads or the nuts or any kind of corners, we can do that and it can be established. So it's easy to have some design freedom in this case, and that can be applied. It will improve the systems very well. Now, the next part of it, as it improves the performance and the reliability of the system. So one of the examples I would like to show here, we have some test details out of it. It is a flat on flat linear reciprocating motions test. The test parameters are mentioned here in the right side. While we did this test with the conventional bearing along and then with the coatings, we observed tremendous benefits out of it. Now, the first thing from the graph, you can see the bronze, we have tested a bronze bearing versus the stainless steel shaft. The system is also greased. Now, after the testing, we found its coefficient of friction values are ranges around 0.15 or greater than that. The system wear in this case is around 71 microns. Secondly, we have again performed bronze bearing along with the chrome plated greased shaft. The system is also greased. Then coefficient of friction that we observed is more than 0.15 and the system wear is around 137 in this case. Now, when we replace this bronze material or conventional bronze bearings with the DX10 solutions, along with the tribo shield coatings, which will make a tribomate solution, and we test it with in a dry or in a greased conditions. In all of these cases, I can find or I can improve the coefficient of friction values, which are more than 50%, and the coefficient of friction values will end up around 0.0506. In this case, our system wear is less than 10 microns, which is, let's say, benefit of a increase in a life of a improvement, which is more than 60% from the bronze versus stainless steel. Yeah. So enough about the GGB products and the solutions that we are providing in this applications. Well, let's go with some benefits, what you will get out of it from the solutions. Now, I have taken one example of a kingpin bearing in this case. So how much benefit we can get out of it. So when I will install any metal polymer, which is a DX10 solutions from our side in the kingpin applications, I can get a 5 lakh kilometers and above service life for bearings. So when I will have a bearing life which is more than 5 lakh kilometers and above, I do not need to have any kind of a bearing replacement. I do not need to have any oversized kingpin requirement. Your uneven tire will wear will be lesser, and there will be no wobbling in this case as well. As I have a better life cycles with these bearings, I have very less maintenance, or in grease-free coatings, there will be no maintenance at all. So your downtimes will be very, very less or no. As we have improved on the bearing life cycles and the maintenance, your overall system cost and the operating cost will be very, very less as compared to the conventional solutions. Now let's go into the maintenance cost cycle of the same. So I have taken the example of metallic bearings on the left hand side, on the GGB metal polymer bearing on the right hand side. So in the metallic bearings, as bimetal bearings or monometals, which are cost around 100 rupees. I'm talking about a size between 30 to 40 mm in this case. So the front axle for the manufacturer, it costs around 100 rupees and you will require 4 bearings. So around 400 rupees as the initial investment you will require. Now for the first year, for the maintenance of this bearing, as we know the data from the market, there is normal practice with the fleet owners, with the owner of these trucks and trucks, as they do the greasing for every week or every time they do a trip. So every week they spend around 200 or 250 rupees on the greasing of the entire vehicle. So if I take just for the kingpin 4 points, it will take you around 50 rupees cost for this. And in an entire year, you will be spending around 1,200 rupees just for the greasing on these points. Now, along with the greasing, as these bearings have a life which are around 1 lakh kilometers, so you need to replace the bearings after 1 year. Let's say our vehicle have run 1 lakh kilometer in a year, which is quite common. You need to replace these bearings after 1 year, and which will cost you around at least 3 times that these bearings are cost with the manufacturers. So when you go with the market, you will have to spend around 300 to 400 rupees at least, I'm saying, to purchase these bearings and install. So in the first year, you will be having a cost of around 2,400 rupees at least for as a maintenance to this bearing. In the second year, it will be around same. In the third year, what happens is when you change the bearings periodically after 1 lakh, when your bearings wear out because of this metal to metal contact with the shaft, sometimes shafts also gets damaged. There are very, very big scratches on it and you cannot use it furthermore. Seals get damaged as well. So your entire system, you need to replace it, and this costs much more than normal servicing costs. So around 5,000 it will cost you. So the 4th year and the 5th year, you will have the similar amount cost required for the maintenance as it needs to be replaced with 1 lakh kilometer. So if I see the picture in a 5 years or a 5 lakh kilometers for a particular vehicle, you will require around 15,000 rupees as a maintenance cost in this system. Now, if I replace these bearings with the GGBs, metal polymer, DX10 solution, in the initial, for the manufacturer, it will cost you 3 times normally than the normal bimetal bearings. So for the front axles, we will require around 1,200 rupees. For the first year, for maintenance of these bearings, as our greasing frequencies with the DX10 bearings are much, much higher, around 50,000 kilometers, you do not need to require greasing on a weekly basis or going on every trip. So you need to do the greasing only, let's say, 2 times a year for 1 lakh kilometers. Only 2 times you need to do the greasing, which will cost you around 200 rupees for the same. Now for the second year till the 5th year, you will have the same cost of maintenance which are required to maintain this pair. So 200 rupees of a cost just to do the greasing at 50,000 kilometers, and that's it. That's the only cost you will require. No additional cost. These bearings works for 5 lakh kilometers, and we have tested that on Indian roads, which perfectly works well. The overall cost, if I look on this, is 2,200 rupees. That's all you require. So you can save around, let's say, 13,000 rupees direct cost for the maintenance from the vehicle manufacturer, for the vehicle owners right away. Now this is with our DX10 metal polymer solutions, which is still greased, but with the minimum maintenance you require, not like the bimetals or metals. Now the next solution that we can offer also, which is a grease-free tribomate solutions, in which we will be using GGBs DX10 bushes, which will cost you around 1,200 rupees. And along with that, we can use the tribo shield coatings on the shafts, and paired, it will make the tribomate solutions. So in the tribomate solutions, you do not need to require any kind of a greasing. So my grease is eliminated. So the system, whether it is a manual or a centralized lubrication for the system, can be completely eliminated. So your centralized lubrication systems can be eliminated from the system as well. You do not need to maintain this bearing. You do not need to grease it, so no maintenance. As you do not have no maintenance, you do not have any downtime. As you don't have any downtime, you do not need to also do the bearing replacement, as this works also well for 500 kilometers. Now, you also do not need any kind of kingpin oversize, and you can eliminate your uneven tire wears as well. This is with our GGB's tribomate solution, which can be implemented here with the kingpin and in the suspensions. So kingpin is a smaller bearings in which cost can be saved in this manner. In the suspension, we have much bigger bearings and cost very high in this case. And that can be also saved from these solutions from GGB. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for attending this webinar on this. As with the limited time, we would not have much time to go in a technical details much deeper in this, whether I wish to also. We will, any questions from your side, we will attend this right now, and few afterwards we will get in touch and we can discuss more in details about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Suraj. Thank you for that very focused and a very nice presentation. To our audience, as indicated, the GGB team is available to answer your questions related to today's topic. We have Mr. As seen on your screen, we have Mr. Mahesh Tangamani, Mr. Sachin Jain, and also Mr. Suraj Patil with us. Yeah, there they are. They are here with us now. Let me start with a few questions we've received. Suraj, I will start with some practical on-road questions. How do wheel bearings and kingpins get faulty in operations? How to identify the same? And will there be any effect in steering and driving if there is a faulty kingpin?
Okay, that's a very wide question actually. To answer this, yes. When you have a faulty wheel or a kingpin bearings, you will observe the effects on a steering. Maybe a human cannot feel it right away, but once these faulty bearings works for a while and then you have issues with the wobbling, and that also affects on the tire wears, you will have more jerk, stick slip effects there on the system. And your entire bearings will wear out very much faster than you think. And that is one thing. Now, how to measure this is really a complicated process, and then I would like to discuss this more with the person in details. I would love to do that, but explaining this right away would be really a lengthy process.
Sure. Yeah, I think you've given an indication of how to get this detected, Suraj. Right. Okay, and I think it came from the same attendee. How kingpin bore enlarge can be deducted?
Okay, it's a similar question actually. You require certain instruments to do that, from which you can actually measure without opening any kind of a kingpin or a system. Okay, you can measure that from outside the system. That is possible, and we know how to do it. But to explaining this will require some more time.
Okay, right.
Basically, the person. Yeah.
Yes,
Basically, the person has to use a dial gauge. He has to fix it in the axle arm and with the wheel side one. And then you have to see the blade. That's the basic industry practice.
Right. Okay. There is also a question on your presence in India. If you'd like to probably just answer the same. Where is your manufacturing facility in India? So there's more about GGB's presence in India. Maybe if Mahesh wants to, answer the same.
Yeah. So GGB is an MNC. In India, we have a warehouse in Pune. We do not have a manufacturing facility in India. We have 6 manufacturing facilities dedicated for GGB products globally. And in India, we have this warehouse in Pune, which helps customers to buy from overseas companies.
Okay, right. So there's another question that came in. HSG bearing, does it not need any metal backings?
Okay, I would like to answer this. HSG are the fiber reinforced composite bearings. So it is made of a different woven fibers along with some chemical compositions and the PTFEs additives. And this is completely a non-metallic bearings. So there is no backing required in this case for in a particular system to support this. These bearings are quite can take very high loads, more than metal polymers as well. And in some cases, as we've seen in the SBC, which is a sealed bearing cartridge, we have backed up with the steel to support the seal as it is required for the sealing system to be involved there. But practically, we do not need any kind of a backing, metal backing for HSG or any fiber reinforced composite bearings.
Okay, that clarifies. Yeah. Anything
I
to
have
add?
one question which is interesting here.
Sure.
From someone that you do the reaming operation of the bushes and the coating will worn out if I do this. Okay. So as I have explained, the tribological solution, the DX10, we have a two part of it. So we use a DX10 metal polymer bush, and we coat the shaft, which is a kingpin. We coat the kingpin, which is in contact with it. So even if you want to do the reaming operation on a DX10 bush, it is possible. we do it with our bearings. It's provided with the tape layer, which is thicker, around more than 300 microns. So out of which around 125 microns, we can machine it and to achieve closer tolerances. And for the coatings, you do not need to do any kind of a thing. It will be a ready to fit part for any of the manufacturers. Okay.
Okay. There was also one more. Does GGB India do coating locally for the shaft?
Okay. Mahesh can answer
this. Yeah. We have facility, fortunately, in India for this tribomate coatings. So this can be done locally in India.
It can be done. Okay. Right. Another one, again on the on-road level. What is the rate of kingpin failure on Indian roads for a normal 10-wheeler truck? And what are the top 3 reasons for kingpin failure?
Okay. I'm relating this question just with the GGB bearings, as I am assuming. With the bimetals, the failures are related to the bearings itself, because the bearing wears out quickly. If you do the greasing, your bearing will last up to 80,000 to 120,000 kilometers. If you don't do the greasing, your bearings will worn out within 50,000 kilometers right away. So when you have such things, the bearings will fail, your kingpin also gets damaged, your sealing system will directly worn out from that system. And when such things happen, wobbling issues are very, very much higher in this case. You need to replace everything in this case. It costs a vehicle owner a lot in such cases. For a DX10, as far as we have observed till date, we have passed more than 7 lakh kilometers with these bearings on Indian roads without any issue. We haven't replaced single bearings right away till date because of such issues that the bearing is getting wear, some issues. If you don't provide a greasing for a particular frequency, which is 50,000, much more higher than metal or bimetal bearings, then bearings wear faster. Otherwise, there's no wear.
Okay, right. 1 minute. Okay, there's a question on warranty and consequential damage claims. In case the bearings are failed to sustain the committed kilometers, what is your take on the same?
Okay, I'll answer this question. Sure. See, first thing we have to understand here, bearing is designed for the life. So first thing is we have to understand what is the requirement of the customer. If he is targeting a 5 lakh kilometers, 10 lakh kilometers, accordingly a system is designed. So the bearing can be designed for whatever is the life has been, and then proper testing has to be done. If these things are validated, then the responsibility of GGB is just to maintain the product level quality supplied at the time of testing. We do not own any consequential damages subsequent to the product supplies.
Okay, right. I think this is something you've already answered. I still want to know if you want to share some more details. What are the life results of your bearings on the Indian road? As in, how have your bearings fared on the Indian roads?
Okay, as I have mentioned previously also, we have tested our bearings on the Indian roads, our DX10 bearings on the Indian roads. We have performed very well, more than 7 lakh kilometers till date, without any major issues or any kind of a particular issue that we are facing. So if bimetal bearings we are comparing out of it, which use 1 lakh kilometer around the life, it's much more than any of these bearings. So, yeah.
Okay. Here's one question. I think the topic of our session itself is focusing on maintenance-free. I think that's something which everybody is talking about in the commercial vehicle industry in India today. So maintaining a low cost of ownership and high vehicle productivity is probably a couple of key challenges in the CV segment. So in this aspect, how does GGB help OEMs and fleets for a maintenance-free operation?
For us, whatever our solutions, if you have seen, we are not talking about just improvement with 10,000 kilometers or 50,000 kilometers. we are targeting the bearing which will run for a very long period of time, which are 500 kilometers is not a short-term period of short kilometers in this case. Our maintenance cycles in this case are also very, very high. If you are doing a greasing on a particularly weekly basis, 50,000 kilometers interval is big in this case. So if I compare just 5 lakh kilometers, you need to do greasing only with the 10 times. That's it. So for 5 years, you are doing greasing only for 10 times, and that too we can eliminate the greasing with our Tribomate solution. So if you want a solution which can run and you don't want to look around it to maintain these solutions at all, you don't want to check whether it is going well or not, something like that, periodically, we can go with the Tribomate solutions, which are completely grease-free. So everything from the system side you can eliminate, and that's where GGB helps to support these trends or going with the non-stop running conditions, as delivery times are kind of very crucial things nowadays, and everybody wants to run very fast. Nobody wants to stop for any kind of maintenance and wants to greasing and everything. So these are solutions which are available with us. We can implement, we can reduce all of these things.
Right. I think uptime is probably of primary importance today, right? I don't know if you will be able to share names, but there is a question that asks, currently, which manufacturers are using your products in India, and on which vehicles are your bearings fitted? I don't know if you can take names, but I'll leave that to you. If not, you can maybe indicate the segments or the categories in which your products are predominantly used, maybe.
Yeah. See, in India, we have business with commercial vehicle manufacturers, leading commercial vehicle manufacturers. Due to the NDA agreements, we will not be sharing any information straight away. This is available in the market. You can see for yourselves.
Okay, right. But yeah, you do work with leading commercial vehicle manufacturers is what they want to communicate, right? And how is your presence in the shock absorber applications in India specifically?
Shock absorber is a bit different market. This is about passenger vehicles. But today's topic is about commercial vehicle suspension. We do have a large presence in shock absorber market, but today we'll let us focus on commercial vehicles, so the audience of yeah.
Right. I think a topic which can never be kept away is, I think, e-mobility and electric vehicles, right? So here we have a couple of questions. We also received a couple of questions at the time of registration. Specifically for electric vehicles, how do your bearings fit in? I mean, do they offer any specific advantages? There was also another question which asked about front axle and suspension and independent suspension for electric vehicles. How does GGB cater to these particular applications?
With the EV market, as far as the system, or let's say the kingpins do not changes. You are even if you change the engine and put it there, let's say motors, other systems will remain kind of the same. So your kingpins and everything as far as same. Your operations will be similar. So from a GGB side, for us, there is no change in it as long as there is no change in the working principles of the particular system. If you change the entire system, make it something different, then we can look around it as per the system. But from our point of view, there is no change till date.
Okay. One additional aspect which helps for e-mobility is weight reduction. As the battery things gets up, there is a lot of demand or need for weight reduction. And by GGB, we give bearings which are very thin walled and which can overall reduce the package sizes and which will in turn reduce the weight. So indirectly, we will help in weight reduction with our solutions.
Okay, right. There was one question related to agricultural tractors. Would you be able to take that here, or you would like to stick to on-road applications, commercial vehicle applications?
Let's focus on commercial vehicle.
Commercial application. Okay.
Specifically talk.
Right. You could probably take this offline with the person who asked the question. Maybe one last question was in general, latest developments and trends in HCV suspensions. How do you see this suspension segment evolving, and also maybe your contribution and role on the same? Maybe we'll take this as the last question.
Okay. For the suspension systems, as we are more focusing on the, as explained in the trends, everybody wants to improve the life of their systems. Nobody wants to change or involve in a very much downtime on all of these things nowadays, because the demand of the vehicle running on road for a maximum period of a time is required, and that's where challenges are coming up. The conventional solutions nowadays are not working up to the mark. If you want to have any kind of a bearing or system, want to run a system which will sustain for more than 5 years, you need to use bearings or any components which will sustain up to that life. And we can support in that. This is my understanding on this.
Okay. Like to add anything, Mahesh?
That's fine. I thank for all the participants and to spend their valuable time to understand about GGB. We just want to get more connected to understand your needs, and then we'll try to provide our best solutions. Thank you.
Oh, Mahesh. Sure. Thank you so much. So thank you to our audience as always. I mean, it's only for you, and because of you, these sessions happen. Thank you to GGB for partnering us for this session. I mean, very insightful, very focused on the particular topic. And I'm sure the audience had a lot of interesting takeaways. I'm sure there are going to be a lot of interesting discussions after the session, between GGB and the partners as well. Thank you, Suraj, for the presentation and for sharing a lot of insights, on the topic. As told before, I think some of them had some issues in maybe downloading the files that were shared. Please do not worry. We will ensure those files are attached in the email that actually comes to you so that you can get a copy of the files, along with a copy of the presentation used by Suraj, and also a video recording of this entire webinar session in case you want to go back and look at some particular information. And as told, along with the contact details of the GGB team. So a final word from our side as well. Thank you so much to the GGB team and to our audience for your presence today. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you, Bala, for conducting this.
Sure.
Thank you.